this is a bit exciting today because we're really showing the global reach from Canada to Spain to Argentina. We're here for another episode of The Exchange. And as usual, I've brought two very special guests. I'm going to start with our resident specialist, Pedro Moran, who's our global director of food products. He's joining us again. Pedro, fresh off vacation, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure, as always, JB, to join the exchange. Yeah.
Perfect. And our guest, we always bring a special guest. Today we have Rafael Grabois from Proglobal. He is down in Argentina. Gave us his time, I guess I should say, as well. Rafael, thanks for joining us. Excited to talk to you today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. I'm going to throw this over to Pedro. Provide us a little bit of background of why we have Rafael here and what's our connection with Proglobal.
Yeah, we've known Proglobal for a long time. We've been having some relationship in the past, and we've been working in several opportunities. After all this time knowing each other, we realized that the best partner for us in South America, in particular in Mercosur, was Proglobal, which is a company very respected, and it's well known in the industry. They have a strong structure in both Brazil and Argentina and covering other countries in Mercosur as well. And we came to realize that we were the best fit for each other. I think they were interested in our technology, and now we have a formal relationship, and they are our agents in Mercosur.
Proglobal is a family business, My father started the business many years ago, 40 years ago. We are located in Rosario, Argentina. This is the headquarters. And we are located in Campinas, Brazil. And also we have another office in Uberlândia, in the center of Brazil. Of course, for the region that we are, to all those people who doesn't know, Rosario is one of the biggest soybean crushing producer in the world. So this is one of our core business. 10 years ago, we started to split the business and go to a different market like food industry, sugar, cement, fertilizer, etc.
You had talked about the soybean industry being one of the main industries that Proglobal deals with, but as it relates to the bulk solids world, which obviously Solex is primarily concerned about, what are some of the other main industries in the Mercosur for Proglobal? You had mentioned food products, but are you able to get any more specific?
Well, some of the industry, for example, one in Brazil, the sugar industry is really big, one of the biggest producers in the world. Coffee, fertilizer as well. Fertilizer is a very important market.
I think for Solex, the first interest was always the two main markets for us in Mercosur were both soybean and sugar, because as Rafael pointed it out, they are the biggest producers in the world. But we have also expanded the reach of our technology to other sectors. We have installations working for mineral powders in the middle of the Amazon, with one of the main mining companies in Brazil. We have some coolers there for nickel dust. We have also installed fertilizer coolers and heaters in Brazil with two of the main producers there. And we look at the mineral industry as well with high interest because we see a lot of potential there. So for example, to give you a particular example on battery powders, we see Argentina being one of the main producers of lithium in the future, along with other countries like Bolivia and Chile. So with the current trend in the global market on battery powders and the shift in the automotive industry to electric cars, there is a potential growth there.
I think we've all faced the challenges, the logistical challenges of having some markets closed and all of us kind of staying at home doing under COVID. But are there other challenges that we're seeing facing these bulk solid industries in the South American regions, and it could be perhaps access to technology, commodity prices, environmental regulations, or anything like that.
The policies implemented by some of the governments are, a bit implementing a lot of bureaucracy into doing business in the region. But since there's always room for improvement, but we know how to deal with those challenges. At the end of the day, now we have, at Solex, we have the possibility of fabricating locally, and that provides a good advantage for us. At the same time, the environmental regulations are changing constantly worldwide. Probably the European Union is taking the lead on those regulations, but Mercosur is following suit, and we know that there is a big interest in reducing emissions.
The external challenge, we have something we cannot handle, the politics reason. Every time in South America is a problem. Every time you want to planify the long term is a problem. A lot of politics affecting mainly mineral affecting fertilizing industry. Everything that they touch in South America, in Europe is a problem, in South America is a higher problem.
Overall, I see a great future for the bulk industry, especially when we talk about fertilizers and soybean, because the demand keeps growing. We need to keep feeding the world. Brazil and Argentina especially Brazil, are net importers of fertilizer, and they need to improve their own production in the future if they want to cope with the local demand. Many global companies are, taking a step into Brazil and Argentina, and they bring on with them their internal regulations, which are quite demanding, let's say. So when you have global companies with high standards playing an important role in the region, they also bring a good business practice. It's contagious for the rest of the industry. When you have to compete with high standards, you need to reach those high standards in terms of quality of products and everything like that. So I think even when the government sometimes lag behind, at least the private industry is taking the lead as well. So it's a bit of a positive perspective there,
Totally agree. Yes, I think the changes will came from the headquarters down to South America, and the companies in South America will start to copy the good practice, and this will happen little by little, but will happen. Yes.
The stuff that's being exported outside of the region, who are some of the region's main customers for these products?
We export a lot to Asia, a lot of product to Saudi Arabia, a lot of product to China mainly.
Related to sugar, Brazil is the main producer. Well, nowadays it's a bit is share the top producer in the world with India, because obviously in Brazil they use the sugar also for ethanol. So based on different number of factors like the price of oil, international price of oil, the exchange rate of US and Brazilian real, and the internal demand and so on, the production of sugar might vary. But at the end of the day, still Brazil exports a huge amount of raw sugar to countries where sugar is not produced, like the Middle East, where they refine sugar imported from Brazil or other places. Yeah, I would say that the lithium production has a high expectation. And then obviously Brazil is a main producer of iron ore for the production of stainless steel. And still, Brazil is such a huge country, along with Argentina. Both they have huge resources of different materials, talking about minerals, but also about natural resources, that they will keep a relevant role in the supply-demand of bulk solids worldwide for many years to come, I would say.
We like the face-to-face meeting, so this is what we are looking forward to do. to return to our comfort zone, that we like to travel, to be face to face, to talk to the customer. And this is what I think one of our how we build the company, growing little by little, always meeting face to face, trying to convince the customers and showing that the solution are the best.
Yeah, I would say that that's why we like Proglobal, because they have boots on the ground. They have a strong sales force, very expert base, and they know what they are talking about when they talk to the potential customers.
Rafael, if people watching this want to keep in touch with what's going on at Proglobal, where can they find you guys?
You can find now us in proglobal.com. You can find us in LinkedIn. We will have a program to put in LinkedIn new newsletters. You can find it in Instagram. You can find it in Argentina and Brazil anytime.
Awesome. Well, this has been a great conversation, very enlightening to understand kind of what's going on in your world, Rafael. Really appreciate you lending us some of your time. And I can speak for Pedro, or maybe I won't. I'll let him do the speaking, but really excited to work with the folks down at Proglobal here moving forward.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. We are looking forward to see you, but face to face the next time.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie, for organizing once again the exchange, and thank you, Rafael, for taking part. It's always a pleasure to join this type of conversation. So thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Muito obrigado.
Gracias.